Season is a perilous 82-game journey, and the St. Louis Blues were the best of them all. But if they lose their first-round matchup today, they join the vanquished. In Game 5, the team the league learned to fear returned to form and staved off elimination. Returning to San Jose, the Sharks get another chance to stun the hockey world. The Blues look to escape the Shark Tank alive or join the 6 teams whose playoff dream is already gone.
For these teams, no matter how much D you play, somebody's got to get a goal. Damphus dropped off Pronger, who has been booed and yelled at even during the national anthem. That's how well he has played in this series, being recognized by the San Jose crowd.
Now, the San Jose Sharks have tested virtually, every part of this man's makeup. His ability to focus and his courage, his ability to survive, and there is one of the guys that has done most of the challenging. Dave Lowry, who was a part-time player for the Sharks, 32 regular season games, has been on the Nolan line with Damphus, paired against Pronger, and they have actually waged their own individual war within this bigger war.
Face-off taken at center. Damphus knocked his man down. Turgeon. Finley will gun that one in. Not a lot of changes here. Korolek is out, however. He had been a regular for the San Jose Sharks, not playing today. Rapchi, and here we go with a hitting. Came out to Owen Nolan. Finley's back with him. 3-on-2. Dropped it off near side. Owen Nolan cutting to the net. Far side shot. And he never got it off. Rebounded. Damphus. Owen Nolan was all by himself, and he could not get the puck to move. It stuck to the ice on him. Hedge clears it in, and he never got a shot off. Ragnarsson takes it back in behind the net. Both teams changing up on the fly. Big pressure, St. Louis. 2-4 checkers up ice to create these kind of turnovers.
Gary, you can't imagine how much adrenaline these players have, especially the Sharks. Because of this crowd, you already mentioned it. It's amazing how difficult it is to make a little play with your stick when you've got that much adrenaline just rushing to your fingertips.
Al McGinnis cleared it around the far side. Up onto the point. Ricci skated by as it was held in off the near side wall, only momentarily, though. Bergman cleared that one out. Intercepted, no. Delayed offside call. Bartesio was up ice already. And the battle, speaking of already, is underway.
Dave Lowry knows that if they're going to have this street fight continue when he is next to a key player, and in this case Pierre Turgeon for the Blues, keep him busy. And it was actually Dave Lowry that jumped up on the play and was part of that 3-on-2 that Nolan wasn't able to capitalize on. Lowry did a super job. He got Turgeon occupied in the corner for a while, then jumped up on the play, made the play to Damphus, Damphus to Nolan. Tried to make a little move, and puck just jumped off his stick, but there's no telling how much adrenaline Owen Nolan has in his fingertips right now.
Great chance.
After the first shift.
4 goals and 2 assists for him. He's their leader offensively. Roman Turek, Steve Shields are the 2 netminders in this series. Both have had very little playoff experience. Roman Turek 2 and 3. His experience coming this season. Steve Shields 7 and 9 in the playoffs. That's it. That's the total number of games they've played. Centering pass right across the top. Shields watched that one go through. Cleared out of the zone by Todd Harvey. Off the far side wall, brought in by Norton. There we go again. Norton Pearson collided. There will be some hits. Tip Friesen couldn't redirect it on net. Held in again by Norton. Norton took a real shot in the last game in St. Louis. Cleared up the near side. Pellerin got it out. Here comes Conroy. Conroy moved it in. St. Louis changing, had nobody back. Good check by Brian Martin. Up to the point, Dave Ellett knocked it off the far side wall. Still over there, St. Louis holding in. Comes by Conroy to center. He'll drop it back to Finley. Just underway here in the first period. Stephane Richer again not in for St. Louis. A healthy scratch. Pavel Demitra, their leading scorer, out again. He has not played in this series because of a concussion problem that has kept him out. Ronnie Sutter will dump it in. Tony Granato on the line with him. Charges Turek. Turek cleared it around the far side. Jamal Mayer's looking to move it up the wall. Gives it the high flip out to center. Knocked down there by Brad Stewart, the rookie, who is 7th among rookie scorers. There he is. Tony Granato with it. Granato sends it in wide. Sutter giving chase. He and Ellen do battle. Ellen rode him off the play. Cleared up eastward, but not out of the zone. Wound up Gary Sutter. Save. Rebound. Save by Norton. Rebound. Tony Granato. Can't get the shot off. 3-gate chances for San Jose. Far side Sutter stepped up and held it in. Ellen back Granato. Went to hit him. Puck went by him to Finley, who wants some icing, and he'll get it as it goes wide.
What a shift for the Sharks, and what a shift for Ronnie Stern. It led to a scoring chance from Brad Stewart. I mean, it was Stern's forecheck that turned the puck over and really had Roman Turek under the gun and tested big time twice here in the early going of period number 1. And some people think that Turek hasn't been good in this series. He's had a lot of funky pucks get by him off weird bounces, but he has stopped all of the stoppable shots, and he has stopped difficult ones like this. The rebound went right to Brad Stewart, who, for a rookie, I mean, stack his shot up against even the veteran players in the NHL, and Stewart can really, really rip it. I mean, he launches lasers.
Shots in this series have gone in favor of St. Louis, 149 to 116 coming into this game. Roll back out the center. Ragnarsson, St. Louis Blues out shooting their opposition almost every game anyway, because they are a team that plays great defense, shuts you down. They just don't give you many. Dash will move it up on the far side. It'll be dumped back into the corners. He could not get to it. Ragnarsson came back. Ragnarsson, Damphus trying to clear it off the wall. Deflected to Nolan in the middle. Owen Nolan, second leading goal scorer during the regular season, and leading San Jose in the playoffs. 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. Far side, bounce right up to the near wall, and there St. Louis will dump in and change it up. Has just dumped that one around. Played back by Shields. Ragnarsson and Ratsky are the defensive combination out there right now. Pearson came back to get it. He's out there with Pronger. Rickard Pearson reaches up on the forecheck through the middle. They found a little room. Cleared in by Nagy wide. Chafed down behind the net. Norton got a stick on it. Couldn't move it away. Bartesio had him. Finally did to Ricci. Ricci gets it up the near side boards and out Nicholas Sundstrom. Batted by Mateau in behind the net. Roman Turek holds it up. Cleared off the far side. Pronger trying to pin it up. Mateau centering pass. Knocked away again, and it'll be moved up by Brad Stewart. Tell you one thing that's happened already 4.5 minutes in. St. Louis has quieted this crowd a great deal. They came really roaring here, but the play's very even to start, so folks have settled back.
Steve Shields was awesome in the third period of Game 5. Otherwise, the St. Louis Blues could have won by a wider margin. He kept his team in the game, gave them a chance to win. Couldn't ask for more. As a matter of fact, it was a great performance for a guy that let in 4 goals in Game 5. Roman Turek, well, as I mentioned, he hasn't seen the rubber that Steve Shields has. But I think he has stopped all of the stoppable shots and some of the unstoppable shots. Weird bounces. 7 different goals have been scored by the Sharks off of change of direction deflections. I mean, weird things in this series.
It has been that kind of an improbable series because the St. Louis Blues are #1 in the NHL during the regular season. They come in against the #8 seed in the West, the San Jose Sharks. Intended for Friesen at center. He took Marty Reeser out of the play. Marsh played it up into the middle. Bounces into the zone. Friesen poke checked away Reeser. He'll get it back. Marty Reeser on the far side. Rubbed out. Tough checking game early on to be expected here in a must-win for the St. Louis Blues to take it home for a Game 7. Into the middle it comes. Not a lot of shots. 2-1 in favor of the Sharks early on. That one will be whistled on the offside.
Well, the captain of the St. Louis Blues, Chris Pronger, has really been a target of the Sharks in this series. In Game 5, Chris Pronger came out and decided that he was going to beat the Sharks to the punch. He became the hunter. He took Dave Lowry hard. He took Owen Nolan hard. This is the first shift of Game 5. And as the game went on, he just continued to play his game. But the thing that Chris Pronger has to be careful of is making sure that he maintains focus. His focus was interrupted and disrupted the first 3 games of this series, but it's back now.
And he gets plenty of time to be focused, as during the regular season, he was 3rd in the league in ice time, over 29.5 minutes. Here in the playoffs, he's up to over 30 minutes. And there's only one player in the playoffs who's got more ice time per game than Pronger. Who would that be?
That would be that the young fellow.
Young fellow who went to Colorado. Raymond Bourque leads all players at ice time. Pronger is second.
But with the Blues leading in the third period of Game 5, Chris Pronger and Al McInnes played an enormous amount of hockey, especially in the third period. And it led to these kind of total numbers for the game. Pronger played just about 34 minutes. McInnes played just about 33 minutes. That was a product of the score as much as anything. But you know what? For that matter, had the Blues been down by a goal in the third period, I suspect they would have played just as much.
Here in San Jose, St. Louis won the first game 5-3. San Jose came back in game 2. Then San Jose won 3 in a row, games 2, 3, and 4 to take the series lead, forcing St. Louis to win 5-3 at home day before yesterday. And that has resulted here in game 6. And both teams are struggling here in game 6 to get shots. Tony Granato's lined back out as each team rolled him over here. Knocked away by Granato and dumped into the zone by Ronnie Stern with Torluk out. Stern getting a chance. This is the first playoff game this year that Ronnie Stern has been in. Back out the center. Sharks got to get onside. They'll do it. In the middle, Sutter. Stern. Shot. Save Roman Turek. Got it with a blocker. Picked back up by Sutter. Sent down into the boards. Oh, and Nolan ripped that one wide. Nolan getting a double shift here. And it's cleared out to center. So Ola Nolan double shifts early here in this game. Obviously, they're looking for a very important first goal. Both these teams are.
No question. I think especially the Blues, because they can take the crowd out of the game and they can play their game. At the same time, what has been underrated in this series is San Jose's patience. They put 5 in the neutral zone and they're willing to lay back and force the Blues into turnovers.
Danfus taken out of the play by Finley up the near side wall. Owen Nolan still out there. Pronger cleared it out of the zone. Young's got it. Scott Young with a scoring streak coming in. 2 goals, 2 assists in the last 4 games. Shields backed it around the near side. Turgeon intercepted. McGinnis will step way up into the corner to hold it in. McGinnis, Dave Lowry got a piece of him. Cleared around by Rafji. Rafji cleared it up. McGinnis has got to come back to center. McGinnis out there with Pronger now in the defensive pairings. And it's the 2 big guys who eat up the ice time team up. Owen Nolan's been out there a long time. Not only is he double shifting, he's literally double shifting. Staying out for 2 consecutive. Roman Turek. Ricci tried to cut it off. Couldn't. Came back to the point. Held in for a shot that deflects to center. Played back by Marchment. Marchment dumped it ahead. Near side Sundstrom. Sundstrom sent it in. McGinnis caught that one up around the chin. Near side is Nagy. Nagy cleared it out of the zone. See how tough it is to gain any room. Nowhere to pass the puck or to skate with it. Sundstrom backhander held on to by Roman Turek. Happy Easter. Got a great game for you. Great to have you with us in San Jose.
Lowry. He has turned into super pest. He stayed with McInnes this whole way, jabbing at him after the play.
Marchment a chance. Save made. Norton a chance. Save made. Roman Turek will cover up. And the Sharks get 2 chances off a face-off win. Both point shots.
Real interesting face-off numbers in this series, and we know that face-offs are important, but the team that has won the face-off battle in each game has lost the game. So you can't look at the overall numbers. You got to break it down and see who was winning face-offs at key times of the game.
And that has been up in the air. It's varied from period to period in this series. Mike Eastwood has won 59% of the face-offs for the Blues. 56% have been won by Stern. That one won back. They're just about even overall in the face-off department. 181 St. Louis, 176 for San Jose. You know, when Pronger touches the puck without even looking, you hear the boos. Fans are on that every time he's out there on the ice. Cleared in by Todd Harvey, formerly with the New York Rangers. Played up the near side boards. Eastwood could not get it out. Nash will. Nash moves it away after Harvey had it bounce off his stick. Shot on. Shields will dump it into the corner. That's just the second shot picked up by the Blues so far in this game. And 6 are on the board right now for the Sharks. Both teams line changes. Man, did he touch that one. Jamal Mayers did. Got it in. Shields back to get it. Turgeon is up in the forecheck here. Blues completing the line change behind the play. Owen Nolan at center on side. Will dump it in. Roman Turek back to get it. 29-year-old Turek. Cleared up. Danfus put the hit on. Roll black out the center. They'll line it up again. Danfus has it. On the fire side looking. Dave Lowry out there with him on this line. Checked ahead to center. Nowhere to go here. Dumped in Nolan as he fell down. Danfus picks it up. Danfus looking to the net. Right at Nolan. Turgeon blocked it. Nolan gets it back into the middle. Just missed by Lowry. Boy, Lowry swung around. I got a big-time backhanded shot off that time. He's had 1 goal in the playoffs, and he came to within inches of having number 2. Bergevin the intended. Intercepted Rafji. Cleared it ahead. Lost it. Sundstrom got it in. Moving. Stefan Matteau. Matteau's centering pass for Ricci. Went behind the net. And was blocked out there by Hansus. That not out. Sundstrom held it in. Matteau dropped it back. Marchment a chance. Blocked away. Sundstrom center. Intercepted before it got there and cleared up. Good pressure here by San Jose. Ricci in behind the net. Ricci looking. Sundstrom. Deflected wide. Stefan Matteau hands Franzus in front. Sundstrom redirected, but not on net. He got it into the crease, cleared up by Head. Ragnarsson cleared it around. Looking up ice is Brian Marchment. Fans here at the tank excited about the offensive chances. Granato prevented a turnover right there. That'll be set up and into the seats. And on this Easter, we're happy to say the professor, Brian Englund, is back with us. Sir.
In our last chemistry class, we learned that the St. Louis Blues were a very near perfect mixture of chemicals, the last one being a Chris Pronger for volatility. But outside forces of nature have acted in these playoffs, and the San Jose Sharks have invented an extra veteran who has tainted and poisoned the chemical mixture. Who is this extra element? Something called a Dave Lowry.
We spared no expense on props, by the way.
Thank you, Professor.
We bought him a marker so we could change that. If he only had a Y in his name, we'd be all right. Oh, that's not for Brian. Face-off will be out at center ice here. Ray Scapinello, the linesman, over around the scorer's bench for a moment. That's the delay in the face-off here.
Gary, this game has not started the way Game 5 did. It's not nearly as nasty yet. It could turn into a nasty game, but it hasn't been nearly as nasty. And you know what? That favors the St. Louis Blues, in spite of the fact that the San Jose Sharks have had good pressure. And the crowd hasn't had a chance to stay in the game because there hasn't been much forechecking. But here is some now by Ronnie Stern.
Ronnie Stern, Sutter into the corner. Ronnie Sutter looking for his first goal of this playoff year. But again, the Blues are able to clear it out. Nagy. It's as though both of these teams have been warned by their coaches to stay disciplined. Don't pick up penalties. Don't create shorthanded chances we have to kill off, because both teams have been very tentative here and playing very safe. Nagy trying to bang it off the wall. Went up to the point. Held in there by Norton. Near side. Shot. Blocked. Stewart took it. Cleared up. And not out. Stewart again. Deflected in the middle. These are not going through. This is why Turek does not face a lot of shots. He gets a lot of help out front. Conroy. Gary Suter spinning around, and they go into the glass. Friesen back to help. Friesen cleared it around the near side. Now the Blues trying to put some heat on. Friesen got knocked down in the corner. Bartesio was there. Puck came into the middle. Nobody gets a chance off it. Conroy, Suter all over him. Let go just in time to avoid a penalty. Pellerin backed that one up into the corner. Marty Reisner for Conroy. Suter's got the big hook going on him right there. Center, and Shields will cover that one up. Referees Terry Gregson and Stephen Walcombe. Ray Scapinello, Pierre Champoux, the linesman, and a full house on hand here in San Jose. On the road, 125 goals on the road, 123 at home. They gave up 84 at home, 81 on the road. I mean, that's about as a common a number set as you're going to see for home and road. But here in the playoffs, they have lost their last 5 road playoff games that go back to last year. They're trying to end that one here. If they don't, their season will be over. 9:03 left to go here in this first period. Face off to the right side of Shields. Everything in this game's taking a long time. The whistles have been long. The face-offs have been long. Play at center's been long.
It's great for the road team.
Yeah, it really keeps the pace of the game down, keeps the home crowd out of it. And so far, that's what's happened here, even though the shots are 7-2 in favor of the Sharks. Bergevin, Damphousse took it away. Damphousse trying to move it in. He got squeezed onto the play. Lowry along the near side wall, same to him as Bergevin got him. Up the near side, Nash trying to clear off Nolan's stick. It came to center. Nolan hit in the head by Nash. No penalty called. And Terry Gregson was standing 4 feet away, right there. And Nolan gets hit again on the near side. Nolan checked the side of his face after Nash got him with a stick, and he gets hit in the head again. Scott Pellerin just took his helmet off, and no penalty called on that either. Wow. Let's check in with John. John Saunders.
Gary, here on the Dodge Update, let's go back to last night. What an overtime between Toronto and Ottawa. Berezin to Stumpy Thomas, the first overtime winner in the playoffs of his career. He's 11 in the regular season.
Steve Thomas tied the game up late, scored the overtime winner. A fabulous pass from Berezin. Berezin's usually a player that shoots, not passes. What a pass that was. Thomas with the winner.
Steve Thomas had 2 great goals in that game. And Toronto, now they've got a chance to move on with one more win. Ottawa's got to win 2 in a row. Finley moves this one out. No score here. Knocked away from Turgeon at the blue line. Played back out of the zone. Ratchy cleared it out. Couldn't connect. Finley got it back to Pronger. Pronger up the near side for Hesh. Hesh taken out of the play. That's the way it's been here in this first period. Touch it, get hit, lose the puck.
And if you have a chance, you've got to get the puck in deep. St. Louis had it right at the blue line, San Jose's blue line. Now look where it is. They tried to make a real cute play with no speed in this kind of game, as tight as it's going to be played. If you don't take your advantage of getting it in deep when you can, it could cost you.
Don't be cute. Pronger overskated. Ricci trying to move it out. Turgeon got a piece of that. Up the near side boards. Ratchy had it. Sundstrom went by him, and Turgeon picks it up. Turgeon coming. Young. Turgeon dropped it. Open on the far side. Young scores! A 3-on-2! And Young, who has been red hot, has his 3rd goal in the last 4 games.
Well, I can't tell you what a positive sign this is for the St. Louis Blues. And I'm not talking about the fact that they scored here. It's what Pierre Turgeon did to make it happen. His coach, Joel Quenneville, has wanted him to fight through checks, to use his strength as he did here. Look at Mike Ratchy. Had him. Ratchy kept at him. Turgeon just wouldn't give up. And Hesh made just a beautiful transition from receiving a rolling puck, getting it over to Scott Young. And Scott Young just had a little push shot into the wide open net. But, I mean, kudos to Pierre Turgeon because of the leg drive. He kept his legs turning, and Mike Ratchy just couldn't slow him down. And as a result, the Blues have what they really cherish here, and that is a lead.
Well, there's that first goal we were talking about. That looked like Steve Thomas all over again. A great tip on a great 3-on-2 break, and Young picks it up, a 24-goal scorer during the regular season. He has got his 2nd here, 12:31. Young from Turgeon and Hesh to make this a 1-0 game. Turgeon needs to play a big offensive game for this team. He starts out here in the first period with an assist. He has not been able to pick up a goal yet, with 4 assists, now 5, and a -4 coming in, now a -3. Turgeon just needs to have that kind of a game. Marchment put the hit on the Nagy, but it's Handzus with the puck. Handzus to Bergevin, trying to bat it out of the air, but it went over the net. The defenseman, Mark Bergevin, joining the play. Nolan takes it back at center. St. Louis Blues, after that goal, seem to have a little extra jump.
And unless you follow the series, you might not know how big that would have been for Mark Bergevin to score. He is still suffering a confidence letdown because he threw a puck, grabbed it, and threw it in his own net in Game 2.
Felt as though he had cost the team and has been living with that. Cleared around the near side all the way up and tipped out of the zone. Todd Harvey played back by Pearson into the zone. Pellerin stepped up, knocked it down, got hit but cleared it out. Artie Reiser drops it off for Pronger on the far side. Pronger looking for someone cutting. Scott Pellerin near side, tied up by Harvey. Loose puck picked up by Brad Stewart. Stewart, the rookie, moves it out and in. Strum dumped it into the corner. Friesen was over, could not get to it. Harvey's got it back. Harvey running into the official on the far side. Jamal Mayers knocked him down. Rickard Pearson, who had a goal in the last game, clears it up. Pellerin. Sharks were changing. Pellerin dumps it in wide on Shields. 7-3 the shots, but the Blues scored on their 3rd shot and have the 1-0 lead here in the first period. Finley knocked it away. Nash trying to get it up, batted back into the zone by Granato. Eastwood will drop it deeper for the D. St. Louis trying to get that centering pass, couldn't do it, and that'll be whistled on the offside. So for Scott Young, right now a 5-game scoring streak, as he's had 3 goals, 2 assists in that span, and Young comes away with goal number 1 in Game 6, and the Blues have a 1-0 lead. Chasing back. Ratchy came back to get it off the near side. 5 minutes left to go here in this first period. And the St. Louis Blues trying to take it home. Young, another chance. Save made by Shields. Scott Young is flying out there right now, and he's got good speed. A great skater. Ratchy will dump that one in again behind the net. Roman Turek back to hold it up, tries to lead the Sharks, didn't get it out. Held in by Matteau, knocked away and out. Handzus clear. They've got to clear it again. Tipped up in the air. Tough to get in. Brian Marchment twice trying to feed it through. Can't get it there. Handzus reaching in, brings it in. Would have been offside and is on the whistle when touched up by Bartesio. Well, you saw the Toronto Maple Leafs, Ottawa Senators. Now Toronto leading that series 3-2. The battle will continue tomorrow at 7. on ESPN. Exclusive coverage for Game 6, the Leafs and the Senators tomorrow.
Well, happy Easter to everybody. There's Scott Young, the goal scorer. Dads have to be on the road. Gary and I can't be at home for Easter, and I can't be home today for my son's birthday. Chase turns 10 today. I love you, bud, and I'm proud to be your dad. Happy birthday, and sorry I can't be there.
Happy birthday, Chase. Faceoff comes outside the line. I figured I knew what my life was about when I went to Mass at the St. Louis airport last night. I said, you know, this kind of spells out just what I do. Off the far side, Enzo's trying to move it in. Nagy on the near side wall, could not get to it. Spun around Sundstrom. Ricci waiting for it, never got there as he came back into the zone. Cleared by Norton up and in through the middle. Sundstrom knocks it away. Sundstrom sent it in for Norton. Norton backhand side. Ricci cutting, didn't see him. Takes the centering pass, intercepted. Boy, the Blues are playing it tough. Here comes Nagy. 101. Pulled up and took it. And a save by Shields. Just enough to knock it away. Artie Riesa trying to hold it in, could not. Both teams are changing. Friesen, McGinnis. Fans want to call, won't get it.
No, and I'll tell you what, Terry Gregson and Steve Wackham have basically announced to both of these teams they're going to let them play.
Go get them. We've seen 2 or 3 that could have been and weren't. McGinnis clears it up. Players will feed off that, and it'll get a little rough. Pellerin put the hit on Gary Suter at center, knocked away McGinnis back. McGinnis and Finley, the defensive pairing here. Finley up the near side wall, tried to get it out of there, could not. Artie Riesa to come back to help. He didn't get it out. Harvey's got it. Harvey to tie it. That one's blocked. Rebound right back to Harvey. Harvey sends it in behind the net for Friesen. Finley on the poke check. Gary Suter stepped up. Conroy beat him to it. And an icing call coming up on the touch by the rookie, Brad Stewart. 3:05 left here in the first.
Steve Shields in the last couple of minutes has made 2 dandy saves to keep this only a 1-goal deficit. One was on Scott Young. The other one was on Ladislav Nagy. And he has stood his ground. He's basically picking up where he left off in the 3rd period of Game 5. Watch this, in full flight, lots of time. Marchment was coming, so Nagy had to let this one rip. Watch a little shoulder shrug there by Steve Shields. Otherwise, Nagy had top corner written all over that shot.
27, 30, and 8 during the regular season for Shields in net. The games he started, Sharks used Mike Vernon for a good part of the season till he was traded. And they have a rookie, Evgeni Nabokov, who is the backup netminder. There you see the shots on, 8-5 in favor of the Sharks. Last game, the Blues jumped out to a 10-0 lead in Sharks and a 3-0 lead in the game before the Sharks came back to tie it and then ultimately lost it with an empty netter finishing it out. Nash near side hit by Granato and Sutter. Cleared in wide. High stick again. Pearson may have caught Stern in the head. Stern was checking for a cut. Stern turns around to see who it was. Rickard Pearson is who it was. And they're both back there together. Stern up with a forecheck. Near side for Nash. Nash dumped it out into the middle. Got batted away into the zone by Jamal Mayers. Taken out of the play, Stewart. Pick back up. Sutter cleared it. Granato in the middle. Tony Granato the red. Can't get by Virgin. Pays a price on that one. Boy, Nash came over. Nash's helmet came off, and it was Granato who took the hit.
Yeah, you might want to have the chin strap to your Easter bonnet kind of snug today.
And Granato had that stick going straight up and down when that hit was made. Nolan into the corner, plays Bergeron first. He plays him back. Turgeon reaching in to try and get the puck. Nolan kicking away at it along the wall.
You don't want to tie it up. You can wear down the defensive team.
And now McGinnis just stood there and took it away. And the Blues will change it up. Young a chance from center. Went wide off the wall. Both teams over the boards. Minute 47. Fast first period. We have had no penalties. 1 goal. Young got it. And the Blues are up 1-0 in a game they must win to make it a game 7. Ricci cleared it up. Out of the zone. Ricci cuts to the net. Shot deflected by him. Finley cut him off. Finley leads it. Good play by Finley to Hanzus. Hanzus got it up the wall. Nagy could not clear. Second try by Pronger. Got it out of there. And the Blues dumping and chasing. Hanzus sent it in. Shields played it back. Near side Nagy. Nagy and that one behind the net. Hanzus, a minute 16 to go in the period. Puck set there. Ragnarsson pinned it up. Nagy dug it up. Nagy left it back into the corner. Ragnarsson still got his man tied up there. Still not going to get any whistle. Ricci cleared it up. Nicholas Sundstrom. Sundstrom moving to the red. He got squeezed out. 1 minute left to go in the period. San Jose has got to be wondering what happened to our ice. There used to be some here. We can't seem to find any. Marchment sends it in. Pronger back. Pronger took the hit on the far side. Michael Sturm got a good piece of him. Up to the wall and not out. Pronger with a high stick didn't hit it. Yes, he did. And now we get a whistle. Pronger knocked it down with a high stick. Let's check in with Brian Engblom. Brian.
I know a lot of you people out there are baseball fans. You've often seen a guy in the on-deck circle with the weighted back taking swings. Well, there's one of the guys in the St. Louis Blues that does the same kind of thing with the stick. Pierre Turgeon. He's got all these pucks taped to the stick. He uses it before games all the time to work the wrist back and forth, back and forth. He told me he's been doing it for about 8 years. It gives him the dexterity and the strength in the wrist, and he goes out there and he feels that puck and that stick weigh absolutely nothing. He's got great hands, guys.
Great hands and great pipes. I mean, his guns, I'll tell you what, he's got a forearm that just won't quit. He is very, very strong. As long as his legs want to cooperate with his forearms the way they did on the goal that they scored, I mean, he's in business.
Turgeon, during the regular season, 26 goals, 40 assists. He was the second leading scorer for the Blues. Bear in mind, the Blues have had to play this entire series without Pavel Demitra, their leading scorer. Sharks pop it up. Pellerin will hold it in. That could have been a lot worse. Back goes Norton to get it. Down to 19 seconds left here in this period. Off the near side boards. Marchman looking for help, has to drop it back. Norton starts it up, Friesen a little pick for it. Near side to Harvey. Harvey sends it in. We saw San Jose do this in game 1, try those long ice passes to get through the center zone. They're trying that again here, but they're not getting anything out of it. And we have completed the first period. The only goal, Scott Young, 12:31. He has 1-0 lead for the St. Louis. 1-0 lead for the St. Louis Blues, who, if the Blues can win it, will send it back home for a Game 7 on Tuesday night. Turgeon to Pronger. The wrister. Save. Shields. Rebound. Bounce. Shot. Young. And scored! Scott Young has got his second goal. 21 seconds into the second period. He blasted it to the back of the net, and it came out in a hurry, and it's 2-0 Blues.
What a laser. Scott Young has just launched a laser. It almost powered through the back of the net. But one of the keys here was that Chris Pronger was involved in this play, and he just kind of drifted a nice easy wrist shot in on Steve Shields, and Shields popped it right back out into the slot. Started with the dump and chase, pretty good forecheck, but the puck took a bounce there in St. Louis's favor. There was the stop by Steve Shields on a little wrist shot. Oh, what a shot by Scott Young. But Steve Shields created his own monster by taking a little wrist shot that Chris Pronger had popped at him and driving it right back out into danger.
A 2-0 lead and a penalty coming up, our first of the game, as Scott Pellerin got taken down. It is a high sticking call, and it's going to be on the Sharks. So immediately after the St. Louis goal comes this penalty. Marco Sturm will held to the penalty box with that stick that he got up on Pellerin, and a power play, the first of the game, coming for the Blues. That's the first penalty we've had in this game.
What an opportunity here for St. Louis. I said this in game 5. The St. Louis Blues go up by a 3-0 score. Most times the game is over. That didn't happen in game 5. You can see that Scott Pellerin is the guy that's shaken up over there, saying, I'm all right, I'm all right.
I mean, the St. Louis team's the best defensive team, giving up less than 2 goals a game in the regular season. Come back on them.
Well, you know what? Their coach actually said he thought they kind of panicked in game 5, but they have not faced much adversity, if any adversity, this entire season. That was a major test for the St. Louis Blues in game 5.
They've got the 2-0 lead. Young's fourth goal at 21 seconds of the period. Nash and Pronger got the assist. Now a power play, and Pronger just got whacked. Pronger on the far side, bent down, stayed on the ice. Ricci, there's Pronger. Pronger took a shot, I think, right to the stomach or the hands.
I think it was on his wrist or on his hands, and it was Nicholas Sundstrom that got it.
Got leveled over there on the far side, stayed in. McGinnis a shot. Shields right straight up in the air. And he'll hang on with Marchman going to the net. Now Ricci just got taken down by Hesh, the rookie, at the side of the net, and it begins to heat up a little bit.
Al McGinnis may be heating up as well. His first shot in this hockey game. Not sure he got all of it. Didn't have any shots in the first period. At least one shot in each of the previous 10 periods. And 29 shots in the series through 5 games coming into today's game.
shots in the first. Scott Young had 2. He's added another with his second goal here. Nicholas Sundstrom had a couple for the San Jose Sharks. They were the leaders in that department. And the Sharks crowd is mighty quiet right now. You almost felt, as loud as they were at the start, this house was tentative. And as soon as the game started, you could feel it just settle back. They're not sure. They don't believe. If you don't think that translates down to the players, think again. They start to feel that, like these fans aren't real sure we can do this. Can we? Short-handed chance. Owen Nolan. Bear in mind, this is the same St. Louis team that came back against Phoenix last year when they were down 3-1 and won the series. They're trying to become the only team in the NHL to do that 2 years in a row. Poke checked away by Owen Nolan. Power play underway here for St. Louis. St. Louis had the 6th best power play in the regular season. San Jose 17th in killing off penalties. Turgeon batted away by Ragnarsson. Cleared to the far side. Nolan up in the charge. Pronger took a whack at him. Pronger thought he just got speared by Nolan. Turned around to Gregson, said, "What's going on?" Young tried to center. Deflected in behind the net. Marty Reisner, Turgeon back over to Young. This has been the offensive line, and it's supposed to be for the St. Louis Blues, and it has been today. Tipped ahead, Marty Reisner. Penalty down to 34 seconds left on it. Shields holds it up. Wants the high wrap around the dasher. Didn't get it out. Reisner shot deflected wide. Nagy on the far side couldn't redirect it on net. Ratchy got it up the wall but not out. Held in again by Pronger. Dumps it off the near side boards. 18 left on the power play. Wide open McGinnis. Save made, deflected. Nagy whistle. Hang on. McGinnis with a big blast and a whistle, and I'm not sure why. And I'm not sure the officials know why.
And I'm not sure that McGinnis' shot got through the shields.
McGinnis is asking why was the whistle blown? The play was going on.
Well, if this shot didn't get through on Steve Shields, how come there's not somebody lying on the ice writhing in pain right now? That either hit Pierre Turgeon or Ragnar, or well, it hit somebody out in front. Here it comes. I'm not so sure somebody, I think it was Terry Grayson that blew the whistle. I'm not sure he didn't lose sight of the puck and assume that it had gone over the glass enough into the stands. That's the only thing I can guess. But Al McInnes, I think, hit Mike Rasty with that shot.
So the faceoff will come to the left side here. Off the draws in that first period. Turgeon went 4 out of 5 off faceoffs. Danfus, 50% first period. Brought back onto the point, power play. McGinnis save made. Kick back to McGinnis again. McGinnis shot blocked by Ricci. And the penalty is over, but San Jose knew it was a power play. Now McGinnis winding up with 3 big blasts that time. Kansas, we're back to a 5-on-5 game. 2-0 lead. San Jose just right now has not got it wound up. Knocked away to Marchment. Marchment moved it up. Bounce pass off that far side boards. Michael Sturm got tied up at center again and lost control. Bartesio moves it in. Marchment over on him. Loose puck. Norton picks it up. Norton swings it around the near side boards and out of the zone. 3 minutes into this second period, and the St. Louis Blues leading at 2-0. They will be very careful now. Harvey dished it. Marco Sturm, penalty coming, and it will give San Jose a power play. Harvey made the play to cut it off. That created the opportunity and the penalty. Pronger continues to pile up the penalty minutes. He's got 28 penalty minutes now in the playoffs.
Well, Chris Pronger didn't argue this, but you know he wanted to. Todd Harvey cut across the blue line, was cutting away from Chris Pronger. Pronger gave him a little push with the stick. Now, I said that Steve Walkham and Terry Gregson were letting the teams play. What drives teams crazy and players crazy is if all of a sudden the standard changes from one period to the next. I don't think that would have been called in the first period.
It wasn't.
It was not.
See, the 28 leading. He also has the game-winning goals for St. Louis in this series. San Jose power play, 15th in the NHL in the regular season, 6th in the playoffs among the playoff teams. This Pronger penalty at 3:11 and power play number 1. And obviously an important one for the San Jose Sharks. Back it comes to Gary Suter. Suter will leave it as they'll have Stewart, the rookie, playing at point. There he is. He'll take it. Save made. Deflected. Danfus Good play by Roman Turek, who got down with Danfus right in front of him. There's Danfus now. Gary Suter sneaks right in front of the net. Lone man back with Stewart momentarily. Freeze and shot across the ice. Not in. Rebound covered. Danfus! Danfus tried to knock it by a strong Roman Turek, who made the save.
He got a piece of it, too. I can't believe it didn't go in. It had to carry him off a stick and go back under Turek, because his life had to pass before his eyes. I mean, everybody was yelling to shoot, and San Jose needed to get something at Turek. Watch this, though. Here's where Turek's life passes before him. He couldn't get to this one. The stick came around. Oh, Turek got it with his glove. That's when you just pray that your 37-inch sleeve length is long enough to get over there. Turek's glove came down. It did not cross the line. Roman Turek absolutely put down the right arm, and it became a wall right here that Vinny Danfus could not get through. Watch the arm come down. Will we see it here? Here comes the arm. Here comes Danfus around the net. Oh, man. That boarding house reach for Roman Turek has spared the Blues a goal.
Minute 37 left on the power play. Best scoring chance for the San Jose Sharks, led by Owen Nolan. 18 power play goals during the regular season, and that one is cleared out of the zone. Owen Nolan, in fact, 18 power play goals, was the best in the league during the regular season. 2-0 lead for the Blues. Friesen out on the power play unit. Jeff Friesen moving it ahead. Nolan stayed out with Danfus. Intercepted, cleared out. Eastwood originally knocked it away. Back comes Gary Suter in his own end. Suter and Stewart continue along the point. Danfus, Nolan, and Friesen up front on this unit. Friesen onside. Friesen, McGinnis knocked it away. Right into the middle. Stewart shot. Blocked out the center. Sprawling on the ice, Michael Handzus put his face in front of that, and it went all the way down the length of the ice.
The one guy the St. Louis Blues can't allow to get wide because he's got the best speed for the Sharks is Jeff Friesen. He had a great Game 5, and he looks like he's ready to dance here.
Danfus held that one in, tipped away to Stewart. Good play to hold it in twice along the line. He didn't. Gary Suter, Stewart's pass went to center. A reminder, the National Hockey League playoffs on ABC determined. They await the outcome of the two series that are still going on. St. Louis could play Detroit if they win. San Jose, well, they have got a shot if they win to go against Dallas. Well, we'll wait and see what happens with the outcome either here or next Tuesday, if there's going to be a Game 7, which would be back in St. Louis. Bracketings in the Western Conference. There they are. Dallas, Colorado, Detroit, all done. Number 8 trying to upset number 1.
So the San Jose, these three teams are waiting. And that's why the San Jose Sharks want to wrap this up here, because if they have to play a Game 7, for this team, the Sharks, or the Blues for that matter, they'll be at a distinct disadvantage having to go against the team that is rested and ready and waiting for them.
Ricci waiting to take the face-off. 30 seconds remaining on the Blues penalty. Mike Ricci will try and draw it back. Jeff Norton out along the blue, but that one went right between Ragnarsson. Norton's got to come back to get it off Shield stick, and the penalty killer's out there for the St. Louis Blues. Blues picked up 13 short-handed goals during the regular season. Both of these teams dangerous, and they are short-handed. Dug out of there by Sundstrom. Sundstrom a couple of shots in the first period. Ricci looking. Ragnarsson cutting. There he is. Solid Roman Turek as he held the post. And Bergevin took exception to what he thought was a late reach in there by Mateau. Mike Ricci, originally a first-round pick by Philadelphia in 19.
Mike Ricci.
He barks loud. Shot. Turek. Where is it? Behind him. No goal. No goal. No goal. No goal.
And it definitely was being waved off before the puck crossed the line. And the puck crossed the line well after the net was pushed off its pegs, and Mike Ricci was part of the pushing. And Terry Gregson's coming over here. No goal, and I think I could read his lips from here. The goal was off before the puck went in the hand. I think the play blown down.
And he blew the whistle well ahead of it crossing the line.
San Jose's doing the right thing because they're getting rubber on them. They've got an outnumbered situation. You see, you've got 24 and 18 there, Ricci and Sundstrom. But Mike Ricci actually knocked the net off, whether he was pushed or not. You talk about standing in the paint and being in the crease.
San Jose wants to argue that Ricci was pushed into the net by Finley, and therefore the goal should count.
Fact remains Mike Ricci was standing dead center in the middle of the crease when he got pushed by Jeff Finley, and I think his leg was actually against Roman Turek's pad. If somebody wanted to make the argument that this could fall into the no harm no foul rule, I would argue the opposite. Goaltender interference even could have been called. No, and that's Mike Ricci's game. He's got to play like that. He scores most of his goals from about the 5-foot range. And San Jose has fought the good fight, and it has been a fight. It has been a war. That is one of the reasons Ronnie Stern is dressed instead of Korluk for this game 6, because Ronnie Stern has got a lot of junkyard dog in him. Once the game gets into the alley, San Jose has got a bunch of guys that can play it.
This game hasn't gotten into the alley yet. That's been the surprise. It's a pretty mild-mannered game still, even here in this second period. Right off the face-off, held onto by Roman Turek.
Oh, little nudge there by Owen Nolan to the back of Chris Pronger. I think San Jose is at their best when they're really focusing on getting Chris Pronger off his game. And Chris Pronger has had his way in this tilt so far.
The other thing, though, that San Jose's got to remember, you can get him off his game, but if you don't score, it ain't going to matter. And right now the Blues have the 2-0 lead. Face-off, Damphus is going to get chased out of there, and Dave Lowry will come in to take the draw against Pierre Turgeon. 4 out of 5 on face-offs in that first period for Turgeon, who was their big draw man during the regular season. Turgeon 43% in the playoffs, though, overall. Played back around the far side, and with the penalty expired, back to 5-on-5. The San Jose Sharks do not convert. Eastwood sends it in, and the Blues change it up. Shields has trouble handling the puck. Got it away from Turgeon. Nolan hit by Pronger and taken down. Ragnarsson's pass deflected by Damphus deep. Ricard Persson coming up will touch it up in an icing call on San Jose.
Gary, I just saw something on a face-off I've never seen before, and I don't know if Pierre Turgeon's got a banged-up hand. Just watch this. I mean, he's actually, his stick is sticking out there. His two hands are very close together, and he's using his elbow here to squeeze, and his arm to squeeze the stick against him. I've never seen him do that before. He does well, and he actually got leverage on that and won the face-off. But it's really unorthodox, because if you have to fight for the puck and it's in your feet, you're in an awkward position. We'll see here if he goes back to conventional.
Look like, well, there he goes on the near side. No, he's on the other face-off dot here. Won it back, doing it normally. Rathje into the middle for Damphus. Turgeon intercepted. Set it back. Ragnarsson came back to get it and dropped it off. 14:04 to go. We're in the second period. A must-win game for St. Louis to take it to Game 7. The Sharks win, and they'll move into the second round. Nolan trying to send it in, but it was offside. And the Sharks continue to struggle for any rhythm in this game as they trail 2-0.
They have, and you can tell because the San Jose Sharks are committing all kinds of offsides, and that means that the St. Louis Blues are forcing them in the neutral zone. San Jose's got to play smart here above all else. If there is blockage at the blue line, they've got to get the puck in deep and establish a forecheck.
And they've got to do something to fire themselves up a little bit, because St. Louis has set the tempo and pace of this game, and it's not what San Jose needs. Knocked away, Ricci got it. Ricci cleared it out. Matteau with it. Stepan Matteau, all 10 years of his career. He's made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Martesio back at it around the far side. Nagy there will clear it out. That's what the Blues are doing well. They're getting out of the zone, finding a little room. Young with 2 goals. Hansus a shot. Block. Batted down. Ricci almost bounced in on Shields. Shields has seen, along with Roman Turek, enough of that, and they'll cover that one up. 2-0 lead. Our 2 Johns are waiting, gentlemen. That comes high off the glass. Shots are 14-9 in favor of the Sharks. Does not sound like the Shark Tank right now. Marco Sturm trying to clear that one along the boards. Couldn't get away from Conroy. Finally did the freeze and look. Suter will join the play on the left side. Sturm played it back into the corner. Immediately ran out of play, took his man down. Avoided a penalty as he took Finley down. Marco Sturm picks it up. Marty Razor reached in, could not get to it. A little help picked up by Finley there. Puck still loose, sitting there. Finley came back to play it. Cleared up off the dasher and out of the zone. Poke checked away. Brad Stewart could not control. Turgeon the trailer. There he is. Turgeon backs it into the middle. Looking for the wide side. Pronger. Feller instead dumped it into the middle. Stewart took that one for freezing up ice. Won't get it to him. They'll wave everything off here. Ellis forced to play it around the far side. Hedge came in to play it. Hedge the flip, got it out to center.
So easy to make that flip play out of the zone when you've got a 2-0 lead. And watch how hard the Blues are to forecheck here. There's Dave Ellis. Little bank out. Even if they pass it right to a San Jose player standing out in the neutral zone, they get it out.
Get it out, take the chance on getting the turnover at center. Dave Ellis reached up, tipped that one, and it goes over the glass. 11:59 to go in this second period.
Well, this game kind of started nasty, and then it got quiet. But they tried to pick up where they left off from Game 5. That was Tyson Nash on Nolan. Again on Owen Nolan. Tony Granato and Tyson Nash. You'll see Tyson Nash in a lot of these. Jamal Mayers. And watch this. When Ricci was standing in front of the bench, he got poked in the back by Jochen Hesch in his frustration. Watch this. He swung around and smacked the stick of Jochen Hesch. But Hesch actually got him in the back with a little jab before that.
Oh, man. Even nasty when you're sitting on the bench.
That's the kind of frustration the Sharks have to avoid, because when St. Louis is on top of their game, they're a very frustrating team to play against because nothing seems to work that you try. When that happens, if your frustration boils over, you start to take chances, and that's when St. Louis takes you down for good.
Earl Sutter said the last 4 games, either team could have won them. That's how even it's been. Here, the St. Louis Blues have the 2-0 lead in Game 6, trying to even the series. Hesch the shot. Held onto by Shields. With Young moving in, he'll get a whistle. Scott Young picked up the first goal, 12:31 of the first period, 21 seconds of the second. Young got another one. He has 28 career playoff goals now and 4 this year. And he's a hot player, as we said. 5 games. He's picked up 4 goals and 2 assists.
And Scott Young is a big goal scorer. He scored one of the overtime goals in the series last year against Phoenix when they were coming back from that 3-1 deficit in their round against the Coyotes. And he's a great guy to have around because he can play center if he has to. He can play either wing, and he can play the point on the power play.
And he can fly, as we've seen in this game. He can move out there. That puck rings in Pittsburgh, Colorado, cut it up by Shields off the face-off, dribbled in. This is where the St. Louis Blues want this game to continue. Home teams this year in the playoffs have done well. 28-10 with the San Jose Sharks. Midway through this one are down 2-0.
Well, if you're out there and you're a San Jose Sharks defenseman, when Tyson Nash is on the ice and a shot comes to Steve Shields, you better brace yourself, baby, because you know Nash is going to arrive there. Here he comes from the left. That was Brad Stewart. Look at Stewart actually got pushed right out of the way. If the rebound had squirted out, Nash was there. So you've really got to be prepared and be solid on your skates because Nash is going to take you every time.
He is a big-time hitman out there, second NHL season. But he knows what to do with the body. It makes you pay a price for gaining any ice space out there. Suter's got it back on the near side. That'll be sent in wide. Pearson going over. Ronnie Stern in front of him and then took him down. Sharks. Sutter in the corner. There's a penalty on Pronger again. That's one of those hitting from behind penalties as he took down Tony Granato. And now Ronnie Stern takes a dive out at center as he gets spun around by
the play, number 44. Cross check.
Cross checks the call on Pronger. And you see how quickly he leaves. He knows he isn't going to win any wars, so he just gets off the ice.
Yeah, took a little piece of one of the Sharks on the way to the box. Well, the Sharks now have a chance to climb back into this one because they're on the power play. Chris Pronger never looks tired, huh? I bet he could play 60 minutes. That's a little chop, little cross-check, and that was more flagrant than the first one he went to the box on. But see, he didn't have to do that there. I mean, he could have just ridden him into the boards and taken the puck away. There's a little chop that knocked him down, knocked Tony Granato down. And you're talking about Chris Pronger, who's a huge man. Tony Granato weighs $180, soaking wet.
Second power play of the game. Both off Pronger. Penalties. And the Sharks with a chance to get back in this game. Trailing the Blues 2-0. Off the face-off, Danfus trying to kick it away. Held in by Suter. Looking into the middle, Friesen shot. Nolan on a save made, Roland Turek. Friesen back up on top to Stewart. They'll set Nolan in the high slot. Gary Suter sneaking in. He's in front. Suter the D. Danfus. Centering pass. Nolan! What a save! Roland Turek! Oh. The puck looked as though it came free, but we've got a penalty. A tripping call in front and it's going to go on the Sharks.
Obstruction, 20 white.
Gary Suter.
I don't care about the penalty. I want to see the save Roman Turek made. Gosh, Owen Nolan had a point blank, and he's got the big rocket, too. Here's Dumbo. There's the penalty right in front of Roman Turek, but I'll tell you what, that to me does not take away from the magnificent save that Roman Turek made. But now, because of Gary Suter's trip in front, and that was not a smart penalty to take right now. I mean, this was, above all else, the San Jose Sharks, even with a 3-2 lead in games in this series, have to avoid shooting themselves in the foot. They are still the number 8 seed against the number 1 seed. And guess what? St. Louis is coming on. The two former defense partners on that great power play that they had in Calgary for a few years, Suter and McInnes on that one. Not partners anymore.
Minute 39 of power play time lost by the Sharks. Suter out at 9-11 on the tripping call, and we will skate 4-on-4. Al McInnes back in behind the net. So a big non-chance right there for the San Jose Sharks. Little open ice. Hesh with Turgeon. Turgeon had a little room. Hesh is open in front. All alone. Pass to him. Score! The San Jose Shark defenseman fell down on the near side. Is arguing that he got tripped. Marchment is arguing he was tripped, which is why Hesh was wide open.
You know what, Gary? Marchment still had time to get back up and get next to Hesh. Jochen Hesh made a magnificent move. I'm not sure even if somebody was on him, they would have been able to stop him. I mean, you don't teach what Jochen Hesh did on this goal.
A 3-0 lead.
Here's the play. Hesh went wide. Watch Turgeon here. Circled back. By the time he got the puck to Hesh there, Marchment was right in front of him. And Hesh actually did a complete pirouette, like a ballet move, and pulled the puck by Steve Shields to make this a 3-0 game.
That comes in a 4-on-4 situation. And what a season the rookies have had. Hesh is one of those. Just a great year and continuing it here in the playoffs as Hesh gives the St. Louis Blues a 3-0 lead in this game. What a play, and now just a lot of moaning and groaning and some booing going on here at the Shark Tank.
I can't help but think again that the Sharks should be on a power play now. If not for the penalty by Gary Suter, the Sharks would have been on a power play there and not in a 4-on-4 situation.
Still 4-on-4. Rafji. Oh, waited too long on that one. Ragnarsson was wide open and wouldn't shoot, and his pass was blocked by Young. Hesh gets his 4th goal this playoff year. Turgeon and Bergeron. 9:29. Ricci. Save made Roman Turek, and there goes the net as Finley took Ricci into the post. So Hecht, whose name should be pronounced Hecht, but because he comes from a part of Germany where the Bavarian accent is used, it's Hecht instead. It's a 3-0 lead for the St. Louis Blues. Hecht. It's a 3-0 lead for the St. Louis Blues. Hecht getting the one on the 4-on-4, which we continue now for another 27 seconds. And the Blues are dominating. Taken by Ricci. Ricci moves it. McInnes on him. Sent it back. Turgeon there. We said at the top, Turgeon needed to have a big game. Well, Turgeon is having a big game. He is setting people up. He's had 2 assists. And he's moved in the offensive zone to high-scoring chance spot.
And he's playing hard and playing big. That's how Pierre Turgeon plays well in the playoffs. He has to play smart, big, and strong.
Ricci. Power play underway now for the St. Louis Blues. 16 seconds remaining on the penalty, so a short chance. Ragnarsson trying to hold it in here on the penalty killing unit for the Sharks. Turgeon trying to dig it out. Ricci moved over, and that will finally be whistled as it's up against the wall. Turgeon having a big game? Yes. Needs to, because he's a big-time player. Pierre Turgeon was a celebrated scorer when Buffalo selected him first in the '87 draft. He reached a career high in points with the New York Islanders. Then got the opportunity to play in Montreal, where he was captain of the Canadiens the night the hallowed forum closed. But it's been his play in St. Louis where he has impressed most. He notched the winning goal in overtime in Game 7, the opening round against Phoenix last spring, and added his 400th career goal earlier this season, a campaign where Turgeon became the complete player. Has never made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. That is the hope with the #1 team this year.
And he really damaged his right thumb ligament damage. That's why he missed time at the end of the season, and that may be the reason that he held his stick real funny on one of the faceoffs. I've just not seen him do that before, so it may be bothering him a little bit again.
Ronnie Sutter moves in for the Sharks to take the draw. 5 seconds left on the Sharks penalty. He'll step back out here on this faceoff. Faceoff that was slow to materialize. Handzus won that one. Taken back by Pronger, and we're back to 5-on-5. And 5-on-5 is something that should favor the St. Louis Blues. They had the best 5-on-5 numbers in the National Hockey League during the regular season, while San Jose was a -6 in goals for, goals against in that department. Into the middle, Lowry sends it in. Turek lost his stick, picked it up at the other end. Handzus got the puck. None of these battles are being won by the Sharks in the corners.
Nope.
Back into the middle, Bartesio leaves it. Pronger, open shot, save, score! Shields had it and lost it. And that really puts a pound of salt in a Shark wound. They don't like Pronger anyway here, and now he's given the Blues a 4-0 lead.
And I don't think there's anything Daryl Sutter can do about this, except perhaps tell his team to go back to playing the way they did in Game 5. Nasty. Get under the skins. Distract the St. Louis Blues. That has not happened. No sustained pressure, even on a dump and chase where they had a lot of momentum. San Jose had dumped. Great play by Handzus to Barteshko to send it the other way. And then Chris Pronger, who doesn't need the slap shot. He's got a great wrist shot, but that's twice now. That was a stoppable puck for Steve Shields. The other one that Pronger took that made it a 2-0 game is the one that Steve Shields bounced off his blocker back out into the middle of the ice. So Steve Shields has not been at his best.
Pronger celebrates, and it's 4 goals on 11 shots for the St. Louis Blues. The save percentage coming into this for Steve Shields in the playoffs was worse than Roman Turek's, 905 to 878. Not going to be after this. And offside again.
Again, that is the key word there. Again.
Nothing going right. 11:42. Pronger's third. Bartesio and Handzus, the even strength goal and a 4-0 lead. His third of the playoff year.
I don't even think the fans have enough life left to boo Chris Pronger anymore because of the 4-0 lead. And you're not going to see, I don't think, Evgeni Nabokov unless this things get really crazy. Evgeni Nabokov backing up Steve Shields. He's never played a minute of playoff time in his career, so I don't know. He might not be thinking what I'm thinking, that he might be close to going in if this.
I think one more goal in this period, and you got to get Shields out maybe just for his mental sake.
Exactly. You got to save his head for game 7 if there is one. And at this stage, unless there's a complete meltdown by the St. Louis Blues, boy, they got a stranglehold on the Sharks right now.
Wow. Right back to Gary Suter. Suter pinned up along the near side boards. Puck still loose at center. Pronger came back to get it, and he'll dump it into the corner. A devastating first half of this game as the St. Louis Blues have a 4-0 lead. Marty Reisner held that in. Nash centered loose in front. Played by Stewart. Reisner stepped over. Nolan fell down. Picked back up by Jamal Mayers. Mayers cruising. Centered. Shot once, twice. Score! Unbelievable! Tyson Nash hit it once, hit it twice. And it went right under the crossbar for a 5-0 lead.
Now, the Sharks are actually looking like they packed it in. I mean, I can't believe when you've got a checking line out there for the St. Louis Blues and they're allowed to just waltz around the Sharks zone all they want. I'll tell you what.
There is no life on this Shark team right now.
No, and I think if the Sharks had a choice right now, they just soon end up to just wipe everything up. Go home. Stop the game right now. Go home and let's think about Game 7. Because to me, right now they're playing as if this game is over, and because of this goal, I think it is over.
No help for Shields because nobody's cutting anybody off in front.
Steve Shields tried to recover, got to his knees, and wasn't able to get all of it. Tyson Nash did the smart thing, though, on this play. He got it upstairs.
Now we're going to get a call made over on the St. Louis bench. Terry Gregson over to say something. I guess we're going to face it off again. The worry now, Bill, the way this series was played in the last game is that it really gets out of hand here.
I knew where you were going with that one.
I mean, 5-0 lead. The Sharks can start swinging sticks, banging bodies.
But you know what? They haven't even shown a tendency to want to do that, which is really how they have to play. I think that the Sharks got up 3-1 in this series by making it a street fight in the alley. And not playing that freeway game on the smooth pavement to allow St. Louis to do what they do best. Well, we've seen St. Louis playing their game here today, which tells you San Jose has not made this the typical street fight that they want.
3 goals on the last 3 shots you saw, and 5 goals on 12 shots. I mean, that is ugly. Nash at 12:51 gets his first playoff goal ever. Marty Reisner picking up the first assist on that, and Jamal Mayer's got the second. Home to away. San Jose Sharks now, Phil said, they'd like to just go home. They can't. They've got to finish this game, and what they need to do now is to establish some kind of momentum to take them into a Game 7 and play well again here and not just totally cave in. Marchment will move this one up. Marchment on the flip near side. Stern could not get it. Played by Pronger. That one batted away by Harvey. And just dumped out of the zone again by Pearson.
I can also tell you that this is really the most in this series that St. Louis has looked like the St. Louis Blues.
Now we're going to get some calls. This one is way behind the play. Charges. And it's Friesen, and it was way behind the puck. And this is to try and prevent this game from getting out of control.
Yeah, no question. Steve Walkham and Terry Gregson have to keep a tight rein on this, a real leash on everybody. And that just because it was so late. You know, the puck was long gone by the time Friesen hit Pearson there. Jamal Mayer's a going concern when he is out there. One of the great forecheckers and great hitters in the game. And if you want to talk about the best agitator in hockey, I think it's Tyson Nash right now. Nash actually got pulled down on the play, got back up, picked up the puck Marty Reisner left behind, and wasn't too excited that he scored.
His first career playoff goal. That'll keep you happy. And this will be the 3rd power play of the game now for the St. Louis Blues. Centered for Young, who's looking for a hat trick. Al McGinnis, power play Blues. Pronger. McGinnis, that was a pass. Turgeon to Hesh. Hesh back up off the half wall to Turgeon, who turns it in. Hesh looking, trying to create a 2-on-1. Hesh hit the crossbar. Center shot, score! What a goal!
Oh my gosh.
Scott Young has a hat trick.
Oh my gosh.
It is a 6-0 St. Louis lead. And 6 goals on 13 shots.
It is absolutely unraveling in front of Daryl Sutter's eyes. Everything coming apart. Scott Young, his first career playoff hat trick. Congratulations to Scott Young, and he scored them different ways too. He almost didn't get a chance to get his hat trick goal because of the post that was hit. I mean, the Blues almost got one on this play. Jochen Hecht had room to step out, and when you've got room to step out and turn, rip it, baby. It's exactly what he did. Off the crossbar to Scott Young, and he just snapped it. Quick snap of the wrist. So
I'll tell you, I've got to go a long way as a fan and broadcaster to think of a playoff game that has looked like this. Norton sends that one in wide. Center Suter save. While Turek kicked it off to the side. 5:20 to go in the second period. It is 6-0. Renato on the intercept. Blocked back out. St. Louis Blues 4 for 4. Stern will send it in wide. Roman Turek came back to get it. St. Louis Blues will be egged on to continue their play to help Roman Turek maybe get a shutout. Renato in front. The shot went wide. Nagy cleared it up. Held in by Sutter. Stern on the intercept. Turned by Nagy. Hit by Finley. And just swung out of the zone. And it'll be touched up at the other end. On the icing call. 37 left on the Sharks penalty. Young's 3rd goal. 5th of this playoff year. 3rd of the game. Hecht and Turgeon picked up the assists at 14:22. And the St. Louis Blues are thinking Game 7 Tuesday. ESPN St. Louis Valley. Right now we use some chips out on the ice. Off the far side, it'll be taken by Stewart. Got tied up by Pellerin. Cleared back. Al McGinnis has it. St. Louis just control it, force it up ice, force the Sharks to come length of the ice. Centered Conroy, shot wide. Pellerin was cutting, just missed that one. Moved out by Nicholas Sundstrom. Gary Suter. Suter, Mateau cutting. Pass went off McGinnis and behind him. Bergevin banged that one up. Ricci got it, lost it. Pellerin. Centering pass came off the far side wall. Held in by Stewart to Ricci. McGinnis intercepted. Marty Reisner drops it in the middle. Conroy. Conroy will just feather that off the near side boards and in. So the St. Louis Blues, who had lost their last 5 playoff road games, looks like they're going to end that streak here. Stewart gets it at the red. They'll send it in. Roman Turek going back to get it. This game is so out of control, the Sharks aren't even trying to run anybody over. At the blue line, knocked down. Lowry to Nolan. His pass deflected. Ricard Pearson cleared it up by Rathje off the referee. And a penalty coming up behind the play. Delay call coming up here. And it'll be against St. Louis. Damphus bounced away. Still nobody controlling. Picked back up. Ricard Pearson moved in, and there's the whistle. And now it's center. Jamal Mayers and Lowry bumped into each other, but quickly turn away.
Penalty on the play. Blue interference.
And Mike Eastwood just kind of leaned on Owen Nolan, and Nolan folded up real quickly, trying to get the penalty, and he got it. So maybe San Jose can do something to inflict a little damage on Joel Quenneville's bench, but St. Louis Blues with a stranglehold on this one. There was the play there. Mike Eastwood just kind of touched Owen Nolan, and he went down. But unless the Sharks can come up with a couple of field goals, which is difficult to do in the sport of hockey.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 3:13 left to go here in the second period. Mike Eastwood. Now, right now, the St. Louis Blues are making a statement about why with their number 1 bouncing puck on Shields on the dump in. Of course, Steve Shields has to hear a Bronx cheer in San Jose. Ragnarsson moves it up. Eastwood interference. 16:47. Third power play of the game for the San Jose Sharks. Friesen on the point. Friesen looking to get on the board here with this power play. Oh, Nolan. Pronger knocked it away. Turek tried to cover. It went in! Oh, and Nolan probably, although Damphus reached behind him. It is a power play goal, and it's 6-1.
Well, it's a start. And it has finally given the crowd here on Easter Sunday something to cheer about, because there has been little, if anything, to cheer about. This looks like to me that it took another weird hop. Another wacky bounce. But for the Sharks, the Blues already have 6 on the board. But that's the kind of goal that the Sharks have scored in this series. And I think they have to just continue to throw pucks in front, get traffic there, and see if they can get more wacky bounces. They really seem to handcuff Roman Turek quite a bit. He almost seems awkward when the puck is that close to him when he's on his hands and knees.
He has that kind of dive forward where he tries to get the puck, and as he's diving, the puck remains loose and available to be touched up. Ricci centering pass, and Turek will hang on to that one. If they have credited that to Damphus, who was standing out in front, that could get changed. I'm not sure Damphus touched that up. Looked like, in fact, he kind of kicked at the glove of Roman Turek, and the puck ended up going underneath Roman Turek's glove and in. Damphus will get his first of the playoffs. Let's check in with Brian Engblom. Brian?
Gary, I was talking to Al McGinnis before the game, and he was referring to the first 4 games of the series and all those wacky bounces that were going in against them. He joked and he said, you know what, the management took all our belts and ties away from us because they were afraid what we might do to ourselves. So you saw in Game 5, they came up with a big win. And Bill Clement, you mentioned a minute ago that St. Louis is really starting to look like the St. Louis team we've seen all year long. You have to agree with that, that's for sure.
Yeah, they really do. And to me, that spells trouble for the Sharks unless the Sharks can dictate the type of game that is being played on the ice. And they have not done that here in Game 6. They did it in every other game, but here at home.
During the regular season, St. Louis won 4, tied 1 against San Jose, outscoring them 16-7. Roman Turek came into the playoffs with never having lost to the San Jose Sharks. He was 7-0-1 against San Jose in the regular season, facing them in the playoffs for the first time and obviously beaten by them. Roman Turek, some revenge here with a 6-1 lead. Damphus was credited with that goal, his first. It did come on the power play, and the assists on it went to Nolan and Friesen. Far far side. Rathje trying to hold it in. Ragnarsson had to come back to get it with 1:50 to go in the period. Young knocked it away. Young's going for 4 goals. Young takes the stick of Shields as he went by. Young now with a hat trick in the playoffs here in this game. He's already picked up the 3. Dumped in by Sturm, hit by Pronger as he did so. Friesen chipped it up. Marchman's got it. He winds up. Roman Turek a save. Deflected it into the corner. In behind the net. Nowhere to go. Friesen. And he tried to center, and it'll be covered up. In the attempt at centering pass, now we get some pile-ups going on as Handzus suddenly found Todd Harvey on top.
Major battle. See, this is what San Jose has to do. This is how they have to play. Get into the trenches, drag the Blues into the trenches with them, and slug it out. They can't play a finesse game. They can't play a speed game against St. Louis. St. Louis has too much for them. And that's why Daryl Sutter is going to play a lot of grinding guys. I mean, he's got Todd Harvey out there. He just steamrolled Michael Handzus. Marco Sturm actually here. Watch Sturm. Right on top of Mark Bergevin and down on top of him. So then that's a good sign for San Jose. They got 2 guys that are practicing their rodeo riding on 2 St. Louis Blues guys that are down on the ice.
Daryl Sutter, 3rd year here, the head coach of the Sharks. Team that lost in the quarterfinals to Colorado last year. Up 3-1 in this series. Then it got 3-2, and now they're trailing here. That one deflected wide. Body's falling in front again. Harvey. McGinnis doesn't have a stick. McGinnis gets one out in front. Friesen had it tapped away. Conroy came over. Power play over. 5-on-5. Friesen. Looked in the center. Conroy was the one who gave a stick to McGinnis. We didn't have one out there.
Pellerin was trying to, but Pellerin is a left-hand shot. McGinnis smartly chose the right-hand curve.
Wise man. Marchman takes it back. It remains a 6-1 St. Louis Blues lead. We're in the final minute of this second period. Friesen tried to tip it as it went by, and Roman Turek will hang on to that one. A reminder that NASCAR, the Napa Auto Parts 500, comes up next Sunday. And hot off his 50th career victory, Jeff Gordon's going for number 51. California Motor Speedway, the place, Napa Auto Parts 500. Next Sunday, live, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 Pacific on ABC.
Well, how strong have the Blues been here in the second period at the Shark Tank? They set a club record, 5 goals in the second period. Club playoff record for goals in 1 period. Crosby and Stills aren't here, but Nash and Young are. And they scored in the second period.
They're singing pretty good right now, aren't they? Nash has been all over the ice here, bringing opponents down. And Young has got the hat trick. 36 seconds left to go. Gary Suter around for Nolan. Near side for Stewart. Lowry. Jamal Mayers, they do battle. Knocked away. Stewart will get it. Young the 3 goals. Hesh has picked up 1. Pronger and Nash the others. Damphus the power play goal. 17-13 of this period. The only one up there on the board for the Sharks. Nolan trying to bring it in. Got tripped up. It'll be an offside call on the Blue with 8 seconds left to go.
Oh, we talked a couple of minutes ago about Al McInnis, number 2 of the Blues. He broke his stick when he was out there on a face-off. So what usually happens, because a defenseman needs a stick in front, is there. He dropped his stick. Is a forward hands a stick back to the defenseman. There was Pellerin trying. No. He actually shooed Scotty Pellerin away. Go away. I don't want yours. It's a funny thing. And guess what? Al McInnis shoots it at 102 miles an hour with his stick. I'll guarantee he couldn't shoot it at 10 miles an hour with Scott Pellerin's curve the wrong way.
One of the things the Blues will also gain the advantage of in the third period is a chance to rest the likes of Pronger and McGinnis. They will not have to play at all if they don't want them to, probably, but certainly won't have to eat up the ice time they're using.
Good point.
Well, we have completed 2, and on 14 shots, the Blues have put 6 goals up on the board. And the San Jose Sharks, who needed to win 4 shots that were scored on consecutively. So Nabokov is in net. St. Louis Blues. Turgeon clears it out. Let's see how the Sharks play this third period. Nabokov came up to play that one, batted it away. Cleared up by Owen Nolan to center. Lowry will go over and chase it down. Off that far side boards. Rathje back at center with the puck. So Nabokov on, and the St. Louis Blues have done this before. Last year, this St. Louis Blues team came back from a 3-1 deficit to win against the Phoenix Coyotes. No team has done it 2 years in a row. Game 5, Scott Young, the hero, wins in OT. It keeps them alive. To Game 7, scoreless in overtime. Pierre Turgeon, series winner. The Blues complete an improbable comeback from a 3-1 deficit, and now are trying to become the first team in NHL history to do it 2 years in a row.
And they would also be the first team to do it 3 times in the life of the franchise, because they did it once earlier in the 90s.
That is a very difficult thing to do. Nagy had the intercept. Hanzus cutting to the net, knocked away by Nabokov. Hanzus played it off the far side wall. Centering pass for Nagy was deflected back to the point. Only was able to clear it away. Sundstrom from center. Roman Turek knocks that one to the board. Nabokov during the regular season played in only 11 games. He went 2-2-1. Had a 217 goals against and a 910 percentage save. Conroy comes back to get it back in his own end. And by the way, they changed the goal that the Sharks have to Owen Nolan, who gets his 5th. Friesen and Ragnarsson pick up the assist on that goal at 17-13. They took it away from Danforth, who did not kick it out in front. Knocked away. St. Louis Blues playing a defensive style obviously here. They'll dump it in and force the Sharks back deep. Played by the San Jose Sharks out of their own end to center. Intended for Harvey, deflected though, and Roman Turek wants the clock to keep going, so he came up and played it. Centering pass, Sturm was wide open, and it went off the heel of his stick. Shot back in by Ragnarsson towards his own goaltender. Rafty came back out to play it.
Now there's another offensive weapon back there. Nabokov in goal.
That's right. Shot on, save made on Granato, and Roman Turek hangs on. Great to have you with us here in San Jose. Game 6. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and the Mad Professor's back with us too. Brian England. Brian.
Thanks, Gary. Well, Steve Shields has had just a horrible afternoon. There's no doubt about that. But you know what? He became the #1 goalie here back in December, and the guy he was playing with up until that time was Mike Vernon. And something he always learned from Mike Vernon was never doubt your talents and always trust your confidence. He will have to really rely on those words and regain himself for the Game 7 from here on in. Before that, he played with Dominik Hasek. He learned from him, never give up, even in practice, never give anything up. Well, in this situation, in this game, all that part of it has gone wrong. But Mike Vernon's words will come back and help him now.
Well, they have to, Brian. The big key for Steve Shields, as you point out, will be leaving this loss behind.
Yeah.
He has to emotionally put it in a vault and lock it up before Game 7.
Finley trying to move that out, as do most of the San Jose Sharks have to do that. Jamal Mayer's trying to go down the middle. Ratchie took him out of the play. Ragnarsson helped out. Knocked away by Granato. Ooh! Nash and Stern. Ronnie Stern came on and right in his face. Tony Granato. His shot partially blocked. And the Sharks have come out here deciding it's time to get nasty. Stern just got Nash again.
And he got called, but I think Nash might be going off as well. Terry Gregson's going to take them both off. See, here's what I think San Jose has to do. They're out of this game. They've got to keep pounding away.
9 blue slash. 22 white interference.
Thank you, Terry Gregson. But they have to keep pounding away and attempting to play their game. But the reason they have to keep pounding away is you want to keep bruising the Blues. I mean, you don't know if you're going to bruise somebody badly enough that they might not be able to play a Game 7. You can't let them off the hook. When you have a chance to hit somebody, I think you still have to hit them. It's a long grind, boy. A real long grind.
There they were colliding on the second attempt at each other during that shift. So matching minors will put them out of there. 244, 61 Tim, second most NHL.
Those would be minor penalties.
Minor penalties. Joel Quenneville now just wants to get out of here healthy. Darryl Sutter wants a team to come out of here feeling like, wait a minute, we may have gotten blown out in this game, but we're not done yet.
What do you think the chances are Darryl Sutter raised his voice between periods.
I suspect they're down there repainting the either that or he didn't do anything.
Not about this. No, I think, well, it wouldn't be like Daryl Sutter, but I'll tell you why I would have been upset. Not because of the score, but because of what I saw from my team when the score got to be 4-0.
They quit. Conroy on a two-line pass. That is something the Sutter family does not accept, and he does not as the head coach of this team. They have had great turnaround seasons here. They are the only team with more points than each of the last 4 years. And you don't get there by quitting. He's got a brother right there out on the ice, Ronnie Sutter. Interesting, the 6 Sutter brothers who played in the National Hockey League, all of them, are going to be inducted into the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame in May. So they'll have all 6 Sutter brothers there, where they still make their home in the plains of Alberta, and they'll all be members of the Alberta Hall of Fame and all know each other.
And for most families, that's not a long ceremony. It will be for them.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I thought Gary probably ought to be the toastmaster for that, since Gary's the one who led a normal life. Knocked away by Turgeon. Owen Nolan back into the middle. We're 4-on-4 again. Second time in the game we've had this. Owen Nolan got McGinnis turn. Nolan! The puck rolled ahead of him. Bergevin finally got a piece. Damphus tried to wrap around. Bergevin got back on him. Damphus hooked him down. Gary Suter. Centering past Damphus. Hecht is there. Hecht will leave it back for Bergevin. Bergevin up. Turgeon's got it. Turgeon playing a punt +3 in this game, as he has had 3 assists on the 6 goals up there for the St. Louis Blues. That is a turnaround for him in the way it had gone in this series coming into this game, where he was playing a -4. Freezing. Fell down, dropped it in. Pronger has got a goal, cleared it up. Young has got the hat trick. Save made. Nabokov, he almost had 4.
What a warm-up. I mean, Scott Young, if you've never faced a Scott Young shot before, and I don't know if Nabokov has faced a Scott Young shot, you've got to be ready. Scott Young with 0 windup. These little lasers come at you. Man, can he ever let it go?
Tremendous wrist shot. One of the good ones of the game. In the middle of Conroy with it. If you're wondering, this year, the largest differential in a playoff game. Pittsburgh shut out Washington 7-0 in the first game of that series. That's the greatest differential in a playoff game this year. It is 6-1 here, with the Blues leading the Sharks. They back around the near side boards, and Elliott will clear it up. The Magic Miners are over. Stern and Nash come out of the box. Nabokov took it away. Nagy looking. Handzus behind the net. Couldn't get it to him. Harvey pinned him up. Ratchy hit from behind as he tried to move the puck. Nice play by Barteshko. Centering pass deflected off skates and out to center. And Elliott will play it back. 14:54 to go here in this third period. If there's a game 7, it will be coming up on Tuesday. It'll be in St. Louis. Off the far side. Handzus just avoided the check. Game will be on either ESPN or ESPN2. Again off the boards and out of there. Barteshko cleared it out of the zone. Big back up Marchment as they change it up. Matteau. Harvey trying to drop it in front. Matteau taken out of the play in the corner by Bergevin. Bergevin's become one of the unsung heroes of the St. Louis Blues team. Harvey trying to get a shot off, couldn't, rolled in front, deflected off skates. Conroy cleared it into the middle. Marty Reisner up. Pellerin leads McGinnis a wrist. Nabokov blocked it behind the net. Picked back up there by Jeff Norton. Norton trying to clear it around out the center. McGinnis just now separating from Sutter. No penalty called on it. They were just hanging on to each other's sticks and talking. Pellerin came in, put the hit on. Out the center, Norton's going to play it back. Ronnie Sutter and Al McGinnis were 5 minutes behind the play, chatting.
And it wasn't Al McGinnis' choice. It was Ronnie Sutter that was holding him there. So maybe the Sharks are going to go back and try to get this thing roughed up a little bit. We know Roman Turek is used to not having much work. That long reach came in handy when Owen Nolan.
Back to get it. Nabokov. Nash. Nabokov. Nash went after him, didn't get him, and a penalty coming, and it's going to be on Brad Stewart. Stewart drove him a couple of times towards the boards. Nash and Stewart had followed each other up ice. And Stewart went after Nash, and Nash
minor
crosses
penalty on the play, cross check.
Right in front of him. And there goes the rookie, Brad Stewart. All right, Bud Light Stanley Cup summary. At least one first-round series has gone 7-12 in the last 13 years. St. Louis, the last team to win a series, as we told you last year, coming back down 3-1. And this date in history, first Game 7 of OT. Detroit beat the Rangers 4-3. That was back in 1950.
Our Bud Light replay is not a replay. We take you live to the concourse where the Bud Light Bubble Boys are playing it out because the fans have kind of given up on their Sharks. The Bubble Boys Hockey League. Wayne Gretzky is the commissioner for Bud Light. And it, unlike the Sharks, is thriving today. The league is.
Yes. Pronger drops it back onto the point here. Power play number 4. Stewart out of there on the cross-checking call. The power play goal scored in this game by the Blues. Leaves it behind the net. Jamal Mayer dumped it off. Nash kicks it back to him. Pronger, McGinnis remain along the blue line on the power play. There's McGinnis. Big shot wide of Nabokov. Rebound Ricci. Cleared it out. Hit Pronger. Ricci got it back. Short-handed.
Boy, Brian Marchment just really... Oh, Tyson Nash went back for him. Well, that was the payback. Tyson Nash attempting to get Marchment back because Marchment really smoked him in front of Nabokov.
Caught him right in the jaws. He went by him at center ice. Nash did. Sent back for Pronger. Minute 14 left on the power play. Knocked away off Turgeon's pass into the zone, but cleared on. Ragnarsson got it to length of the ice.
Almost looks as if St. Louis is content to just run down the clock. I mean, they're going to take a play if it's there, but they're not going to try anything even remotely risky.
Turgeon centered, and Young cutting. He's going to get that 4th goal yet. He's had chances. Cleared out the length of the ice. And Roman Turek back to get it. Turek looking to even up his mark. 3-3 on this playoff year. And in his playoff career, for that matter. Centered for Turgeon. Sturm came back to get it. Cleared around the far side. Turgeon steps up. Marchment was there and cleared at the length of the ice. Roman Turek at the other end. Just held that one up. Down to 27 left on this power play opportunity. Near side for Dave Ellett. Ellett moves in over to Nagy off the wall. Nagy dropped it down low. Norton. And the penalty has 12 seconds left to go on it. Damphus rags it back a little bit. And center Friesen steps in to take it away. And Friesen will go even deeper into his own end. Final 4 seconds of the power play will be killed off on this dump. Roman Turek held it up. And the penalty is over.
The thing, too, Gary, is, I mean, if people don't follow the St. Louis Blues and they're thinking, well, good, gosh, Turek might just fall asleep back there and San Jose can get something on him because he's cold. He's used to this. The St. Louis Blues allow fewer shots than anybody in the NHL, and Roman Turek never loses his focus no matter what the score is or how many shots he's getting.
They allowed only 22.1 shots a game during the regular season. And that was the best number in the National Hockey League. Roman Turek spent a lot of time watching, and that's why he and Jamie McLennan did not get a lot of work and why they had a combined goals against, which is the best in the NHL at 1.98. Backhand chance Friesen at the outside of the net. Anytime you have a goals against average on a season under 2, you're up there among the top 10 all time. Back comes Gary Suter. Suter in behind his own net. Ed Conroy moving in on him. 10:27 left to go here in the 3rd. Pellerin intercepted to Conroy. Left it. Marty Reisner. Reisner pinned up back there by Sturm. Reisner. Sturm took it away from him and kicked around the far side.
I can tell you Marco Sturm is one San Jose Shark that has not stopped playing and did not in the 2nd period either.
Marty Reisner picks that one up. Pellerin with him. So is Ricard Persson, and he missed it wide on Nabokov. Took it on the glove side, but didn't get it on net. Again, back on side. Tried to, but Pellerin sent it in too soon, and that'll draw the whistle. 9:55 to go. Game 7 looming Tuesday with the Blues up 6-1.
Roman Turek got a little help on this one, though.
Yeah, but he makes a good save. His nickname is Large. He's 6'3". Watch him reach out with his right arm. And with a save like that, you can see why St. Louis was #1 in goals against.
Headed towards Game 7.
There is Roman Turek, who has come into his own a little older than most goaltenders at 29 years old to be able to say that about him. But he was with Dallas for 3 years and played only 55 games. Penalty coming up here. And boy, Nash is drawing the attention of the entire San Jose Shark team. Things get a little chippy here. Lowry over in the corner.
Brian Marchment and Tyson Nash are now nose to nose. surprised. Oh, now Terry Gregson's going to take a bunch of guys, but he might as well.
Yeah.
This accomplishes nothing for either team, and it's not a great spectacle for the sport if it gets out of hand. So
High stick and rough. 4 minutes.
Double minor.
check this out. He got Todd Harvey on 2 of them. Well, there's Tyson Nash going at it with Todd Harvey. So that was the first penalty on Todd Harvey. You think Tyson Nash has a bullseye on him right about now? And he refuses to change the way he plays, even with a 6-1 lead. Marchman tried to elbow him in the face.
And he loves having that bullseye. Tyson Nash and Marchman. Nash will continually point up to the scoreboard whenever anything happens. Leading 6-1. So Harvey gets the high sticking and the roughing at 10-18. Double minor. 4 minutes worth of penalties, and that's it.
And Joel Quenneville, I mean, you said it in the second period about being able to rest some of his key guys. Second consecutive power plays had Tyson Nash, Mike Eastwood, and Jamal Mayers out there. Try and get them some offense and some offensive confidence.
Yep.
And now is the time to do it.
Rest them up, because there's going to be a game 7. Ellen on the near side wall. He got leveled. My Sundstrom gets up slowly. Nash stays out there, as he said on the power play. Comes it behind the net. Jamal Mayers. Back Ellett. Ellett along the blue. Eastwood backs it in behind the net. Nash. Oh, there's an interference. Nash is into it. Jeff Norton. Norton to Nash.
Oh. Finally, Tyson Nash got under the skin of one shark too many, and Jeff Norton said, I ain't going to let this happen anymore. I thought Nash was going to get called for an interference penalty because the puck wasn't really near him, and he just ran Norton into the boards.
And Norton said enough.
Jeff Norton is not a big Tyson Nash fan.
You got to be wearing a blue note to be a Tyson Nash fan. 9:13 to go. Nash out of Edmonton, Alberta. Last year played only 2 regular season games, 1 playoff game. First season for him, but Nash, as we said, has made his presence felt. 193 hits, 150 penalty minutes. First among rookies in both of those categories this year during the regular season.
Here's the play. Watch this. Bang! I thought that was going to be called as interference. Now, Jeff Norton learned a lot about Tyson Nash from Jeff's younger brother, Brad, who played in the American League last season against Tyson Nash. So the word on Tyson kind of filtered throughout the Norton family, and Jeff Norton had kind of this built-in notion about Nash before he even played against him, and Tyson Nash has done nothing to change Jeff Norton's opinion of him.
Tyson's make a tough chicken. 3:31 remaining on the for the double minor. It was already up there. Now Nash and Norton will each get 5 for fighting. Pronger's become a fan down there at the end of the bench. He won't play a whole lot here in the 3rd period. Ragnarsson back to get it. Power play continues underway here for the St. Louis Blues. Al McGinnis out there in the power play unit. Dave Ellett up to the red. Sends that one in. Ragnarsson came back to help. Rapp beat. Check on. So did Sutter. Ratchy tried to get the puck. That was Hesh who got leveled. Hesh tried to retaliate from Ragnarsson and missed it. Dave Ellett, the young, is looking for his 4th goal of the game. McGinnis' shot deflected, Hesh in front, but a save made by Nabokov. Cleared out by Sutter. McGinnis back to get it. Blues looking to make it 3-3 and send it home for Tuesday night's game 7. 23-16 the shots in favor of the Sharks. Young is in the middle with Turgeon. Dropped back. Bartesio left it into the corner. Played up finally by Brad Stewart. Not up. Pronger held it in. Pronger's open. He'll take it. Wide on Nabokov. Ricard Persson. Harry Suter trying to pin the man up did, and it's cleared out. Stewart got it out of there. 2:10 though left to go in this 4-minute power play for the St. Louis Blues.
And you notice the Blues on their power plays taking a lot of long shots. I mean, not bothering to get in front and fight it out. I mean, they don't want to risk any injuries here, so they don't have to score any ugly goals. Why not try to score some pretty goals and save themselves some wear and tear?
Oh, and Nolan, big back flip out of there in the penalty killing unit. Ricard Persson chasing and Friesen on his back, and Friesen took him into the corner. Pronger able to clear it out. Hanzus will skate after it. Hanzus in. Nagy's open. Nagy to Hanzus. Great pass, Bartesio, but puck checked away. Dave Ellis. And it back in behind the net. Nagy. Penalty coming up. Delayed call. Here it is. Another whistle as Terry Gregson calls this one just to try and keep this under control with 7:10 to go. Take a look. Our Max Life storyline. Scott Young, first career playoff hat trick. St. Louis, 10 players with a point, 5 with multiple. Game 7. There's going to be one. San Jose wins on the road.
Now Max Life replays. Lots of life for Scott Young here in Game 6 at the Tank in San Jose. An easy tap in on a great play from Jochen Hesch. And then Hesch with another setup and a laser by Scott Young. Yet another good snapshot. Oh, he's young, but he's restless for the 4th one. He wants it right now, and he may get a chance for it, but that's not important. And then the Blues just want to run the clock out with 7:10 to go.
He's right up there with the best of them. Playoff numbers. Point a game man. Power play. 2-man advantage. 5-on-3. Norton has a Nolan win on the slag. 7th power play. McGinnis. Save. Conroy. Save made. Nabokov.
You know, I don't think Joel Quenneville wants to put his top power play forwards out there and risk them getting a slash or slashing the ankle or any kind of injury. Here he is with Conroy, Pellerin, and Reisner.
Yep. Pass to Reisner, intercepted. Stern clears it out of there.
Marty Reisner is the only guy that would be on one of the top power play units, but it's such a great luxury for Joel Quenneville to just open the door and basically let players onto the ice.
Pronger moves that one in onside. 40 seconds left on the 2-man advantage. Conroy takes it back in behind the net. Pronger wide open. McGinnis wide open. Looks more like a 4th corner stall. Pronger shot blocked. Ricci diving for it. Ricci gets back up. He's hurt. Shot McGinnis. Save Nabokov, and Ricci is limping in behind the net. He blocked that shot. Felt it. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock on ESPN, the Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators, their Game 6. Toronto leading at 3-2. Steve Thomas, the overtime winner last night. Exclusive coverage of Game 6. The Leafs and the Senators tomorrow.
Is Steve Thomas not the one guy you would pick if you were in an overtime situation? Game winners 4 of the last 7. Overtime winner last night. Thomas is the all-time leader in regular season overtime goals.
Cleared back in by Pronger. Another penalty coming up. Delayed call. McGinnis. Roman Turek heads to the bench. Shot Pronger. He fanned on that, and there's the whistle.
Look at his stick, Pronger's stick.
Broke that one.
He swung so hard he didn't fan. He sheared it off at the hosel.
25, flag.
Boy, the Sharks just keep that steady parade. Look at the penalty box. Can we get a shot of the box, gang? SRO. Standing room only.
Boy, what a long night. Daryl Sutter. There you see Don Foose, Norton, Nolan, and Harvey. Here's the penalty.
And an off-ice official whose name we don't know. There was a slash. And that is why Chris Pronger has not played much in this period, and why Joel Quenneville has not risked his top power play guys in front of the net. He doesn't want to put them through shots like that.
That is really brutal, Bill. I mean, that is a 2-hand act shot in wide open ice with no reason except to try and hurt Pronger.
The one thing that Don Foose did was didn't go for his feet or his ankle, because that's where you break the bones the easiest, is if you go for the feet or the ankle.
Another hard hit, far side slashing going on everywhere. This time it was Ragnarsson who got into it.
with Nagy.
Nagy was over there in the corner, and Ragnarsson.
Blues flashing 2 minutes.
Vladislav Nagy right there. Oh, gosh. I guess Terry Gregson didn't see that one. Ragnarsson tried to take his head off with a cross check, and Terry Gregson only saw the retaliation. Yikes, it's getting dangerous. I thought the period might start like this, Gary, but now that we're down to 5:45 to go, it's dangerous out there.
Because now everybody's looking for the last shot. So 5:45 remaining. Blues leading at 6-1. 3 seconds left on the Sharks penalty to Nash, or Todd Harvey, rather. He'll be coming out of there in 3 seconds. And Pearson dropped it back. So the first penalty Sharks over, but it remains a 4-on-3 power play for the St. Louis Blues. 4-on-3 power play for the Blues. Dave Ellis. 20 seconds remaining on the next penalty to expire for the Sharks. Nabokov came up to play it. Short-handed. Touched up, and that was hit with a high stick. That's why there's a whistle bringing the faceoff back out to center. So not a lot of shots and not much else here in this third period. Joe Quenneville just wants to get the clock going, get on the plane, and get back home. He is 16-18 in playoff career behind the bench. He's going to add number 17 to the W column.
And all of the momentum now lives on that St. Louis bench. 0 on San Jose's bench. The St. Louis Blues came through a time of adversity in this series, and for the first time in the hockey season really faced adversity. They went down, or they got up 3-0 in the game we did the other night, Gary, in game 5, and you pointed out that there was adversity within the big adversity because they were caught in that game. San Jose came back and tied them 3-3, but Chris Pronger and his troops were able to pull away when it counted most in the third period. So the confidence is back with the Blues. They now have faced some adversity, and they are smiling through it. They are in complete control of this series.
This is the St. Louis Blues team that finished number 1 during the regular season. They are back to playing that way again here in the last 2 games. Here, Turek down to 4-on-4 now for most of the remainder of the 2 penalties. Nolan in, knocked away. Nolan went sliding into Roman Turek. And that will draw the whistle. 4:58 to go. Here at the Shark Tank, it has been their first 13 shots and have not looked back. Still 4-on-4. Pass deflected away off Stewart and deeper into the zone. Game 7 will be coming up on Tuesday, and the St. Louis fans will be back out at the Kiel Center. We'll have it either on ESPN or ESPN2. That deflected up and into the seats. Take you back for a memory here. 94. Game 7. San Jose was at Detroit. This is the Game 7 in that 94 series. The rookie, Chris Osgood. The pass intercepted, and Jamie Baker got the winning goal as the Sharks pulled off the upset against the Detroit Red Wings. Does it give them hope if they look at history for this year?
Yes, sir, because the key here is what happened in Game 6. Check it out. The Sharks lost 7-1 in Game 6, and were still able to win Game 7. They played a 2-3-2 series. That's why Game 6 and 7 were both in Detroit. And believe me, I think it's absolutely possible to win too big. You know, you get too confident. I'm not sure that'll happen to the St. Louis Blues, but it is possible to win too easily.
Nagy moved that one in, avoided the check of Marchman. They collided at center. Marco Stern sends it over, still 4-on-4. Ronnie Stern shot. Great save by Turek. Rebound, score! Well, this time it was the St. Louis Blues' turn to leave Roman Turek all alone with 3 consecutive shots coming at him. And Turek was his large self on the first 2, but Brian Marchman following up on a rebound with the backhander has made this a 6-2 hockey game. The first shot, Turek with the stop, put it back into the slot. The second one, ooh, and that was Barteshko coming back, and it bounced between his legs right to Brian Marchman. Here, smart play, got it up in the air, so Brian Marchman has the second San Jose goal. It will not be enough with 4 minutes to go. Brian Marchment did not score a goal in the regular season, playing 49 games. He's got 2 goals here in the playoffs, and it is a 6-2 Blues lead with 3:58 to go. And the assists on it will go to Sturm and Mateau at the 16-minute mark. Held in by Lowry, who blocked it to Sutter, who sends it into the corner. Ricard Persson. Now we're back to 5-on-5. All the penalties are expired. There's Danvers, who just came out of the box, knocking Hesh down. They both head to the benches. Both teams change it up. Taken away by Lowry. Ahead for Sutter. Persson sent it back out. Marty Reeser down the middle. Could not get to it. Reeser got cut off by the D. 2-on-1 the other way. Stern. Saved by Roman Turek.
And a good one.
Stern was wide open. This shot back to the point. Pellerin's not going to be able to break away. Puck bounded away. Suter. Pellerin a shot. Save made. Nabokov dropped it off. The official said thank you. Eastwood dropped it back in his own end. 2:57 left to go here in this third period. So the Sharks picking it up a little bit here, keeping the play going and not getting totally stupid in the final 5 minutes. They set themselves up, come back and play a much better game in second. Another penalty coming. Oh, now Stern. He's got him on the far side. Tyson Nash and Ronnie Stern.
Well, Ronnie Stern has given these fans something to get up on their feet about, but nothing to be that proud of. Mayers, I think, might have been hit first to start this play. Ronnie Stern was trying to put somebody into the St. Louis bench. We kind of figured that Ronnie Stern would play a lot here in the third period. The tough guy.
There's Nash, the man who that bullseye keeps getting bigger and bigger.
And it's still not big enough to wipe the smile off his face, though. He's just a walk in the park for Tyson Nash. There was the original penalty by Brian Marchment, and even when he has the puck, he is going to try to hurt you. Brian Marchment's game is to try to hurt people. It always has been. He is the single most dangerous player in the National Hockey League. And if you don't believe me, ask guys like Joe Nieuwendyk. Marchment tries to hurt people almost every game.
Nash just raised his stick as he left the ice, drawing even more ire from the fans. There is Brian Marchment. And then Ronnie Stern tried to bend and break Nash over the dasher on the bench of the Blues.
Ronnie Stern couldn't land any punches, so he at least wanted to go, yeah, I want to cry, baby. Yeah. He's mocking the fact that Tyson Nash covered up on the play and turtled. But I'll tell you what, discretion was the right thing there. Forget about the valor by Tyson Nash, because he just would have got cleaned by Ronnie Stern.
You see Lowry signaling as he tapped the glass to somebody over there on the Blues bench.
Gary, where was this when it was 4-0?
When they could have made it a game.
Exactly. I don't buy this. I mean, if you're going to get your chance in Game 7, wait, guys. Take your shots in Game 7. It's useless and it's wasted. And where the hell were you when it was 3-0?
Yep. Yeah, they could have started playing this way a whole lot earlier and given themselves a chance to win this game. And they didn't do it. Instead, they just folded after the score was 4-0. And now here in the final 5 minutes of the third period, suddenly are showing the grit that needed to be there a period ago. We want to remind you, Saturday ABC continues its coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs second round action. Check your local listings or log on to abcsports.com for the game in your area. You will be seeing at least Pittsburgh at Philly, some of you, Detroit, St. Louis, or Colorado for some others. So log on, find out. Saturday, Stanley Cup playoff coverage on ABC. There will be a Blues power play as the result of all of this. Pearson drops it back, so the St. Louis Blues come away with a power play as the extra 2 minutes were picked up by the Sharks. Pearson out at center, gunned into the wide side corner. Nash got 5 for fighting. Mayer's got 2 for slashing. And then for the Sharks, Stern 5 for fighting, 2 for cross-checking, and Marchment the 2 extra for elbowing.
I think one of the big questions going into Game 7 is how Steve Shields will respond. He was not sharp here in Game 6. They got more pucks behind him that should have been out in front of him. So how will he respond for Game 7? Daryl Sutter has no choice but to start him. But if he looks in the history books, he will see that Steve Shields has in fact played a Game 7 and won a Game 7 when he was Dominic Hasek's understudy in Buffalo. Hasek was hurt in '97 in the series against Ottawa. Shields to the rescue. He won that Game 7 against Ottawa.
27-year-old will get another chance on Tuesday night in St. Louis. Off the wall, Nicholas Sundstrom cleared it back out. Dave Ellett. Sundstrom took it away and sends that one in. In behind the net. Pearson back to get it. We'll give you the multiple point people in this game before we leave you with 2 minutes left to go. 42 penalty minutes in this period. None in the first, 12 in the second. And most of these that have come here in the third period have indeed been the ugly kind of non-affecting play type penalties. Sutter moved it up the near side wall. Scott Young, the hat trick. Hecht has a goal and 2 assists. Turek played it around the far side. Turgeon's got 3 assists in this game. Pronger and Nash are 1 and 1. Those are your multiple point people. Roman Turek going the distance here. He's faced 27 sharp shots, say that 3 times quickly, and has given up the 2 goals. On the near side, Stewart put the hit on Eastwood in the corner. Power play, 32 seconds left on it for the Blues. No angle shot. Nabokov held that short side on Pellerin's chance. Finley came back to get it in his own end. 1 minute left to go in the third period. That's a 2-line pass whistled right there.
I don't know if Pierre Turgeon's been on the ice here in the third period, Gary. Very little. Very little, and there's no way Joel Quenneville wants to risk him getting chopped on the arm because he's really come alive in games 4, 5, and 6. So he will be a key for Game 7. And Mark Bergevin, I think, is another key for St. Louis. Remember, he had the monkey on his back from throwing the puck in his own net in Game 2, and he thought he was the turning point. Well, Game 5 was one step to getting the monkey off his back, and I think Game 6 right here is the final step.
Want to remind you, coming up ABC's World News, Kevin Newman. That's next here on ABC on this Sunday. And 57 seconds remaining to go here in Game 6. And certainly it was not the kind of game anyone could have anticipated. To see the St. Louis Blues come out here and just blow it away as they scored 4 goals on 4 consecutive shots in that second period. Young had one in the first to make it 1-0. Then Young, Hecht, Pronger, and Nash picked up goals to start the second. Young added another to get the hat trick before Nolan and Marchment got goals to put the Sharks on the board. And Roman Turek will head back home to the friendly confines of the Kiel Center and look for a Game 7 win. Off the face-off at center, Sturm watches it go back to his own netminder. Cleared out the length of the ice, 36 seconds remaining on the clock. Pearson will touch that one up. The officials are going to just let this one roll. And the San Jose Sharks, 3 consecutive years in the playoffs. St. Louis has been in it 21 consecutive years. Will get to play one of those special Game 7s. There aren't a lot of them in NHL history. There will be on Tuesday night for these 2 teams. Spun in behind the net. And for the fans here in San Jose, a disappointing Easter Sunday. Friesen moved it in. Sent by Harvey below the net. Ellett came back to get it. Cleared it up the near side. Our final, the Blues 6, the Sharks 2. Game 7 will be coming up on Tuesday night. We'll be back to wrap it up.